Are you like me and have you been buying disc for Illuvium Beyond Wave 3 and you want to know all the little details about which Illuvatar you're going to get, whether it be a standard or a mega disc or even the upcoming partner disc for Casio? Well, I've got an updated Beyond stats guide so that you can get a really good idea of what's supposed to come out of the disc and just how rare that Dual F that you just pulled actually is. And so let's have a look at it right now. You can buy the disc right here. Don't forget to use my creator code in the profile on the Illuvadex. Really simple. Go to profile, scroll down, go to account settings. It's right there. You can enter it. I've got Playmos right now, but you can enter the code right there. So the Wave 3 odds. All the Illuvatars that are available for Wave 3 are as follows. We've got Tiru and Rai as our tier 1s, Greater Apon, Gorilla, and Arcos as the stage 2 tier 1s, Cardulox and Gyro as our stage 3 tier 1, so quite a few tier 1s in this setup. Stoic Lynx, Arcane Flora, Virtuous Hydro, Nimble Terra, Stoic Zephyr, and Relentless Ember Lynx making up the tier 2 Illuvatars for this wave. Fling, Riptorus, and Vermilion are our only tier 3 Illuvatars, so very few of them compared to some of these other ones. We've got Flare, Jokul, Rake, and Scoriox as tier 4, which is pretty standard for most waves. So we've got a really big front end and back end here. We have a lot of tier 1s and a lot of tier 5s. In tier 5, we've got Foe, Adore, Ramfight, Adorius, and Dual F as dual stage 3 tier 5s, which is more than we've had in any past wave. It will probably be the only time we actually end up with that scenario. So really interesting there. And with that, that is all the Illuvatars for this wave. So as I said, a lot of tier 1s and a lot of tier 5s, and they heavily influence these charts that are about to go into. So the chances of a non-holo are 95%, and for a holo is 5%, and here are the charts right here. So if we take a look at this, we can see that out of a standard disc, the standard pool, we're not going to talk about tier 0s at all today, you've got a 35% chance to get a tier 1 stage 1, 15% chance to get a stage 2 tier 1, and about a 4% chance to get your stage 3, so your Gyro or Cardulox. So not too bad, and actually a little bit higher than we're going to look at the Mega Discs in just a moment. After that, for the tier 2s, they're very high as well, with 10% and 15% for stage 2 and 3 respectively. And then as we get to tier 3, the numbers start to really, really diminish. We're going to get a 5% chance on a tier 3 stage 1, which you really want to get a lot of them, but really low chances in this one. For the stage 2, it's going to be about a 2% chance. And in the stage 3, you're getting well below that. For tier 4s, it's even lower, getting pretty diminished here. And then for tier 5s, it's basically non-existent. You're not getting many tier 5 alluvials from these standard discs, but you definitely can pull them. Not to mention, all the stats for accessories is the same across standard mega discs. So if you need accessories to compete on the leaderboard, standard discs are easily the best option. They're quite literally 5 times cheaper for accessories. So after that, we've got the holo chances from these standard discs, where you've got about almost a 2% chance to get your tier 1 stage 1, about a 1% chance for that stage 2, and a basically like 0.2% is something like 1 in 400 discs to get the holo tier 1 stage 3, and like a 1 in 100 to even get a holo Lynx in this, but it's about a 1 in 50, close to a 1 in 50 to get a tier 1 stage 1 as a holo, and the rest of these numbers are pretty negligible, but it's still about a 1 in 350, 1 in 400 chance to get your tier 3 holo Illuvatar. But what's most interesting about the Illuvium Beyond Wave 3 is the Mega Disc. That's really the numbers you're after here. Like, you've even got your standard pool of your Lynxes about 10% per Lynx, but for like something like a Scoriox, it's 2%. It's actually 1 in 50 Mega Disc for a Scoriox. Even better for a Foe or an Adore. And for a Ramfight, it's even 1 in 100 Mega Disc. Now, that's expensive, obviously. It's about $3,500 to really hopefully get one. But it's not that bad, and it's been worse in previous waves of Illuvium Beyond. So this is actually one of the better waves if you're after just getting those tier 5 Illuvatars, if that's what floats your boat. What starts to get interesting is the holo chances. It's about a 70% chance, about a 70% chance you're not going to get a holo, and 30% chance you're going to get a holo, and that's just in the rare slot. So it's 35% because you got to include the standard slot as well. But for these stats, we're only looking at the rare slot because the standard slot is just all of the other stats I just showed you. Just put the two together and you get the end outcome. So, mega discs. What are we looking at here? All right. So for non-holos, right, basically your stage 3 tier 2 overall has almost a 35% chance. I don't think that was a shock to anyone, but really, since there's basically no tier 1 Iluvatars in this, that pretty much leaves it up that it's actually closer to a 70% chance you're going to get something tier 3 or better. In this case, you've got a 5% chance to get the tier 3 stage 3. This wave, it was Vermilion. You got about a 5% chance for Vermilion, and for like Rake and Jokul, you're getting up to a 10% chance to get one of those two Iluvatar. Tier 4, it's a little bit lower because it's not quite meeting the threshold. So a really good chance here for a really good tier 3 or a half decent tier 4. And then even in tier 5, you've got a 5% chance to get the Foe or Adore, which is a 1 in 20 mega disc. So if you haven't got one of them out of 20 mega discs, you've been really unlucky. If you've gotten 2 or 3, you've been really, really lucky. And then we get to holos in the mega disc, because this is where it starts to get interesting again. You've got about a 10%, almost a 10% chance your holo is going to be a tier 2, one of the Lynxes, well, 15% between all of the Lynxes. For a tier 1, you've got a pretty decent chance between all the stats there. You've got about a 10% chance you're going to get a tier 1 holo. Tier 3 stage 1 holo is pretty common here with a 3% chance, so you might be getting quite a few of them. Tier 4s, it's going to get much more difficult, and tier 5 still stay really, really rare. They're very hard to come across. And we can also look at the stats across the board here, where we get to standard holo standard discs. We can see that there is a 60% chance of a, no, sorry, that is the wrong thing. Overall, probably spelled that wrong. There we go. 2 V's for overall. Okay, so we can see the legend up the top here and what it's signifying. So the blue is the stage 1 Iluvatars, red is the stage 2, yellow is the stage 3, and purple, no, those are all the wrong series names. Okay. So the blue, I can't believe I didn't notice this before. The blue is standard disc stats. The red is standard holo disc stats. The yellow is mega disc, and the green is holo mega. So that one's correct. So basically, in your tier 1s, you're getting a huge spike for the just standard discs here. And then you're getting another big spike for holo tier 1s in the mega disc. Okay. And then you can see how all the stats kind of pan out here. They're very even in the tier 2 zone. Whereas the mega disc obviously has a big spike with the yellow number there. For tier 3, you've got pretty even distribution as well, where holos are just really low in the standard disc in general. So all the red ones, we can pretty much discount them at this point. But the holo mega disc is at pretty good odds compared to even a standard disc has pretty similar odds to getting a holo of a tier 3 in the mega disc. And then we can see that the standard mega disc way higher than everything else for tier 4. If you're going for a tier 4, you're going to want to get the mega disc. And the exact same thing is happening with the tier 5s as well. So if you want a tier 5 or a tier 4 Iluvatar, you're going to want to get that mega disc. You could probably inch it out for the standard disc for tier 3, but it's going to be harder for you to get those stage 2s and stage 3 Iluvatar. So I hope that helps you understand what you might think of buying when it comes to Illuvium Beyond. And don't forget that the new Casio G-Shock partnership that starts on December 12 is going to be even better, because you get the G-Shock partnership Iluvatar, which is a 1 in 50 for the tier 5, and you get a watch at 20 discs, great, and you get a mega disc equivalent as well. So right here, you're going to be getting a 5% chance at a tier 5 Iluvatar every single time you buy one of those G-Shock discs. So hope that's helpful. Have a good one.